at all for real. All right.
All right, cool. I'm actually in the car, so I'm gonna mute it that way, no background noise or anything.
All right, bet. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
All right, we recorded now. All right, we'll give everybody a couple minutes to lag in and everything, man. But yeah, I appreciate everybody tapping in. It don't make no sense. Dog, it don't make no sense. I feel like I'm caught back in 2015. What's good, Dom?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, man? I appreciate all the birthday love too from y'all, man. For real, I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, man, since y'all in here early, I'm gonna let y'all know something. I'm testing something out right now, man. It's the first of its kind PPC leads. The leads are $350 a lead. You got to buy 30 of them at a time. But man, the quality of leads have been insane. It's been insane. They are the first company to use YouTube to generate real estate wholesale distress motivated seller leads. So I just signed up with them on Monday, y'all. And I've already gotten 11 leads. Man, so they give me about 2-3 leads a day. He said they've been blowing me up. Yeah, hey, Jesus, man, they are good, bro. These leads are freaking fire, man. I really couldn't believe, man, how the quality of them. What's it called? So there's an iSpeed to lead. iSpeed to lead is one of them, Dom. But the other one that I use right now that I just bought, bro, I bought the $10,500 package. It's called Lead Zolo. I just dropped it up in there, man. And dude, they are the leads are fire. I've only gotten about, I think, 11 leads so far, man. I got 3 of them already that should possibly be going under contract this week. So they are fire leads, man. Really good. And I'm hoping that I'm gonna start implementing. I signed up, just so y'all know as well, for this Novation guru. His name's Eric Brewer. If y'all ever heard of the Brewer method on YouTube, he's gonna show me how to more so navigate the Novation better than how Pace Morby and all them do it. A lot of them, Pace Morby and all them Novations, more so about doing repairs and things like that. So this guy will show you how to have the conversation where you can do a novation, and the average novation fee is $26,000, opposed to the average $15,000 wholesale fee. So that mentorship is going to cost about $8,000 for the mentorship. But y'all already know, since y'all in the class, man, anything that I get, I'm literally just going to drop the knowledge straight in the chat. But he's already given me a ton of game on the whole novation thing, man. I spent about an hour and a half with him. And if y'all got any deals that y'all can't move ever, I'm gonna send y'all this link too, man. Let me drop this in the chat. His name's Matt. Y'all, if y'all ever have a deal y'all cannot move, drop it right here. They don't want a lot of information, but man, they have a very, very high success rate of dispoing deals for you. They even take deals that are at like 95 to 150% of the Zillow's estimate. As long as the seller is motivated, man, if they are truly motivated, they will be able to help y'all dispo it, man. It has to be true motivation, and they have to be flexible, because he'll do anything from subject to novation. He'll even do a lease match option, if y'all know what that is. So he'll get very, very creative. I mean, just to give y'all a quick game here, he had a deal out in Alaska. The seller wanted $430 for it. The house is worth $430. The seller wanted $421, which is how much his mortgage was. He still was able to make a deal out of it. What he did was a 10-year lease option. So he's leasing the property from the seller for 10 years for the mortgage amount. And then after 10 years, he's going to have the option to buy the property at however much that amortizes down to. So right now he owed $421. In 10 years, his loan balance will be $318,000. So in 10 years, he's going to sell the property it'll be worth about $600,000 by then, because of appreciation, of course. But in the meantime, he's putting a tenant in it because it's near an Air Force base, and it's going to cash flow $800 a month. So when I say this guy gets creative, man, he turned something that was at 98% of the ARV into $800 a month cash flowing deal, and in 10 years, it's going to make $250,000, $300,000 on when he sells it. So this guy is the truth, man. And yes, anywhere, Jesus, man. But yeah, this guy is legit. I spent about 2 hours with him. It cost $1,000 an hour. Well worth the time. Really good people, man. He's here in Austin, Texas, but he'll help you dispo anything. But all right, enough about that, man. Let's jump into this. I said I wasn't gonna keep y'all for long. Again, thanks everybody for coming out. I truly appreciate y'all time. I know, like I said, last week was kind of more so of a recap. This week it's gonna be a breeze through as well. I'm gonna go over softwares. If y'all have any questions on any softwares that I use, want to go more in depth on how I use them, what types of printers and filters I put in, let me know. I don't want to bore anybody in here, but I just want to let y'all know what softwares are out there that the industry is using, what the big gurus are using out there for softwares, as well as, like I said, what we're using. So again, this is the Reunited Softwares When Scaling Week 10 course. I am y'all host, Dylan Wade. If y'all haven't already, follow me on Instagram, y'all, at purchase.house. I don't know if y'all, a lot of y'all don't know, but yesterday was my birthday. I celebrated, had a really good time. But on my birthday, man, I was able to turn a deal that was dead, and I mean truly dead, into a $40,000 deal that closes tomorrow. So, hey, God has been blessing me, and I want y'all to stay at it, man. This deal went dead 3 times during the last 3 weeks, but somehow, some way, we were able to overcome every hurdle. So just remember that, y'all. It's not gonna be easy. It is gonna be tough, but stay persistent, stay consistent, and keep pushing along and have faith. Let's get this thing started, y'all. All right, so agenda for today, we're gonna do a little recap of what the last 10 weeks are about. 9 weeks, I'm sorry, y'all already know. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the software that we use for these following things, right? For comps, for our CRM, which is a customer relationship management. That's what CRM stands for. For what we use for calling, when we call on the sales side and in the VA side. What we go over for SMS, I kind of briefly touched on the SMS, what we use when we were doing marketing methods in week 6, I believe it was, or week 7. And then I'll go over just a few. We only use 2 softwares that we use for dispositions. And then lastly, we will go over what next week or the last 2 weeks are going to look like. Then I'll open the floor up to any questions that y'all might have. So does that sound good? That sound good? Yes, yes, yes. Can I get a yes, y'all, man? I need some interaction. I can get a hand raise, it don't matter. Yeah, hand raise or a yes. Make sure y'all listening to me. Y'all can hear me. Cool, perfect. Let's get it. All right, let's kick this bad boy off. So recap, week 1. Week 1, we went over how to get started in real estate, how I got started in real estate with little to no money, and how you guys can. Week 2, of course, if y'all haven't seen any of these videos, first and foremost, precursor. Go on YouTube, follow me, type in Dylan Wade Reunited, and you will be able to see all 9 of these videos be up there. But week 2, we went over how to talk to sellers. So now that you know how you can get started in real estate, we said, okay, now this is how you can talk to sellers, this is how you build rapport, all that jazz, right? All that good stuff. Week 3, deal or no deal, we went over content. How do you know if you truly have a deal or not? And then week 4, how to find buyers, which I love that class. I showed you guys how to find buyers locally, virtually, in any market, using Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, calling realtors, whatever you may have it, man. So how to find buyers is week 4. Week 5 was get rich or die trying. That was the theme. And that was creative finance. So we went over sub tools, owner finance, short sales, land contracts. We went over all of those things and how you can use them as an exit strategy for some of those dead deals that you have or those dead leads that you have, right? So, and like I told you guys, I'm even still myself getting better on this creative finance. And then after this mentorship, what I'll be able to do is have a lot more to say on the novation side, which is basically wholesaling 2.0, right? So now week 6, skip tracing. I went over and gave you guys the gem that is Josh Chan. If you don't know who Josh is, that's Mr. 3 Cent Skip himself. So if you guys are pulling data right now, if you already are paying for marketing, go to Josh Chan for your data. You watch that video week 6 where I'll show you guys how to get some data and how to skip trace. And then week 7, marketing methods. Went over how to call, how to SMS blast, how to do anything with that data that y'all have now, direct mail, what KPI should look like, all that good stuff. Right. And then week 8, was how to hire, where we hire from, how to pay them, hourly pay, all that. Right. Week 9, last week was a little more mellow, step by step. We went over the process and recapped. on what the whole wholesaling process looks like in an entirety, what the total scope looks like. So it's about 20 steps. Yes. Oh, and yeah, so it's about 20 steps, and that's what last week was on. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into. I know. Stop calling. All right, so let's go into this. So comping, y'all. So what do we use for comping? Who in here has heard of PropStream or Privy? Raise the hands. Raise the hands. Raise the hands. Raise the hands. If you've heard of PropStream or Privy, okay, or the MLS. Hey, let's even say the MLS, right? Perfect. Perfect. So for those of you who don't know what PropStream and Privy are, they are two softwares that provide first and foremost data. If you want to do pulling lists and skip tracing, but they also provide you guys with the opportunity and ability to comp a property anywhere. So the software costs, I believe, $149 a month. We've got like 7 user seats, so we pay a little bit more than most people do. But yeah, so PropStream and Privy are almost the same when it comes to data. They'll give you MLS data as well as, like I said, you use it to comp. So I'll just show you what that looks like, right? So this is PropStream right here, guys. When you log in, it'll show you this, right? And it have a search bar up here so you can search for any property, and you can comp a property anywhere. I can comp a property in Michigan. I can comp a property in Texas, Florida, California, you name it. All right, it'll give you all of this information about a property. So it'll tell you the bed and bath count, square feet, who owns it, which is very important, right? Whenever you guys are talking to these sellers, especially in Detroit, Michigan, I'm always hone in on that. You want to make sure that the owner name on PropStream or Privy matches up with, or the county records match up with who you're talking to. Because if not, there was some type of discrepancy on paperwork somewhere, and we need to figure out where before you waste your time and go through title, and then there's some issues there. But on PropStream, it'll give you all the types of data, such as what the tax assessed value is, which says $567,000. It gives you the legal description, which you'll need when you start doing purchase agreements. Whenever you're doing purchase agreements, you'll need this legal description. They give it to you on PropStream, as well as it'll tell you their mortgage information, how much they bought it for, and if you want to pay for it, you can even pull the documents that they bought the house with. So if you want to see what their mortgage document, their deed of trust look like, you can pull it up, and it costs, I believe it's 10 cents or $1, something like that for each document. We rarely pull documents, but this is PropStream, and we use this tool mostly for comping, and that's pretty much it. We don't use it at all for data. So what we would do for this tool is we would go to this comps tab, and then we would click right here on MLS. Right. The reason I want to do MLS is because I don't want to see what only sold on public record. I want to see MLS only. So it'll show me, okay, 20 things, if y'all can see my screen, 20 things sold. Let me zoom in a little bit more for y'all. 20 things sold. This is what the comps mean. 20 things sold in this area in the last year. And whenever we're comping, if y'all don't remember, you can use a year, but I don't like to use a year, especially because of how the market has shifted. So since the market has shifted so much, y'all, I've been doing 3 months. So I'll go to like June 1st, 2022 and see what's sold. And then I don't do a half mile radius for the comp. I do 0.3 miles. Right. So I got 7 comps that I can look at, and then I'm going to go and just do my due diligence on these. I'm going to see what the average price per square foot they sold was, which is over here in this tab. Price PPSF means price per square foot. I'm going to look at all of that, y'all. When I'm looking at all of that, this is all, like I said, the data that's provided, and it's well worth it by PropStream. They have another beautiful thing. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I'm going to pull up 8246 Braille Street. I'm going to pull this up really quickly, and I'm going to show y'all the other beautiful part, man, of PropStream. Y'all see this tab right here, linked properties. Raise your hand if y'all can see this linked properties tab, because this is very important if y'all going to use PropStream. Y'all raise your hand for me if y'all can see this. Cool, perfect. Linked properties. What this does, y'all, is it'll tell you all the other properties that somebody else might own. So say you're on the phone with the seller, and he says or she says, hey, yeah, I'm not interested in selling 8246 Braille Street at all, but thanks for your time. Well, while you've got them on the line, you can pull up PropStream, you can see this linked properties tab, and say, well, hey, what about the property on 8240 Braille Street? I see you own the one right down the street. Would you be interested in selling that? Right? So you can use this for not only, y'all, comping, but it just gives a ton of good data that y'all can use when y'all talking to sellers. And you can also see what they bought it for, when they bought it, right? You can see all of that mortgage and transaction history. So you can say, hey, I see you bought this thing for $300, right? So if they're telling you that they're trying to sell it for 50,000, you can let them know, hey, I see, you bought it for this amount. You're trying to make $1, but come on, let's work something out. You just use this data for transparency, y'all. I'm telling you, it's gonna go a long way. So you guys can afford to start implementing PropStream into y'all systems right now. Please do. It's great for data. If you can't, I completely understand. Wait till you really want to start scaling up and getting some deals and things like that, and you can begin to utilize it. If not, other than that, you guys can use Zillow. That's not a problem at all. All right, y'all. So that's PropStream. And then Privy is basically the same. We just got Privy not too long ago, probably about 2-3 weeks ago. What Privy is really good for is finding deals on the MLS. So you can go into any market and you can just straight up, it looks just like PropStream, as you guys can see. But you can go into a market and just see what deals are on the MLS, how long they've been listed on the MLS for, and then you can make offers from there. So you can use it for a comping tool, but you can also use it for for finding deals on the MLS. And I said, I'm still learning really how to use this thing. But this is a tool that we gave to our VAs, and we just got them going through there and making offers. So you can see like right here, it says all these active. So what they'll do is out of these 182 active properties, they'll go through here in a day and just make offers on them and use this tool to comp it. All right, so they'll go back and forth between PropStream and Privy. Who on here had heard about Privy as well? I just heard about Privy, like I said, about 2-3 weeks ago. Y'all already had heard about it? Okay, cool. All right, cool. And then the MLS is the multiple listing services. You're only going to be able to get access to this if you have a realtor or if you know a realtor. That is the only thing. So if you have a realtor that you can kind of share passwords with or whatever, or you can use their access, use it for comping. It's the best when it comes to data. It has the most accurate data as well, unlike PropStream and Privy. PropStream and Privy rely on third-party information and data, so it's not always the most accurate. But that's comping, y'all, right? Next, we got CRM, which like I told you guys, it's customer relationship management is what it stands for, CRM, and that, or customer retention management, whatever one you want to use. But the CRM is what do you do with your leads when they come in? So we use Podio. That's what we use for our leads. So whenever a lead comes in, whether from cold calling, from SMS, from PPC, from direct mail, anything, as soon as they express interest, hey, yes, I want to sell, it automatically goes into our CRM, which is our Podio. So you can set up triple campaigns and drip campaigns and things like that inside your Podio or inside your CRM. But that you guys are going to need a CRM when you begin scaling. The reason that I was not doing deals when I first got into this industry is because I had no systems and processes in place, y'all. I was writing down on a piece of paper. I wasn't even using Excel. I was writing down on a piece of paper the name of the person I spoke to, the offer I made, and then I would say, okay, I'm gonna get back to them in 3 days when they said to follow up. But you know what happened? In 3 days, I wouldn't follow up with them because I forgot, because I've spoken to 50, 60 people in between then, and I'm just playing this constant game of trying to remember who I have to reach out to. So it wasn't until we got a CRM and it was Podio in place that we really got better on our follow-up, because the money is in the follow-up, y'all. You're not going to get a lot of y'all deals on the first call. It's going to be on that 8th, 9th, 10th call. So you need to have a CRM in place. Batch leads is another good one. They're a little bit more costly to me. REI Reply, you can use both these, batch leads and REI Reply, for text message as well as a CRM. And then Salesforce. I do not recommend using Salesforce until you have built out a really big wholesaling operation. Salesforce is for people that may have 10, 15 sales reps. They're probably doing $200,000, $300,000 a month. That is what Salesforce is more so going to be used for, and who the types of companies that will use that. But Podio has some really, really cheap options. They have some $59 a month options, $100 a month options. They even have some like $25 a month options, if I'm not mistaken. So Podio is very user friendly, and almost everyone in the real estate industry uses Podio for their CRM. I'm just going to show y'all real quick how Podio even looks, right? So y'all can see. So this is how our CRM looks. And I'm going to show y'all this as well so y'all can kind of see it. So you can see up here, it's got the name of us, Hercules, Rigo. It's got on here our follow-up. Let me zoom in because it's tiny. It's got in here our follow-up, what we have to follow up on, who's on our calendar for follow-up. So you can see on Friday, we have a ton of follow-up. So we have all these individuals to follow up with on Friday. It'll give you your total lead count for the quarter or for the month or whatever you want to have. And then it also has like a Facebook activity feed. So this right here, this main page is going to be like your Facebook activity feed. So whenever somebody calls, somebody texts, anything, all that's going to be right here. So you can see, Ethan said a day ago, hey, this guy wants 275. And we can see that it's all on here in real time. So you can customize this to however you guys want. You can put in here offers a day that need to be made. Anything like that can be on here. But what I love is, you have a seller's lead tab, which we use the most. You have your transactions you can put up here. So taking the transaction from seller lead to close, you do that in transactions. It's all tracked in here. So that's why I love Podio. But my favorite thing, since I'm on acquisition side, of course, is the seller leads tab. And these are, let's just say, these are our leads that have call attempts less than, I guess, 1. So you see, you can even filter it by who only has 1 call attempt. So you can go in your system and start in your CRM and say, hey, today I'm going to call anybody that we've only called once since they've been in our CRM. And it's going to pull the list of 300 people for you, and you can call on them that day. Just pound through, right? So that's what you guys can do. And I said, I love the seller leads tab the most. That's what I use almost all day. But you'll see it has phone number, seller name, it'll have property address, all that jazz. Everything will be in here that y'all can use, y'all. And like I said, I love Podio. It's cheap, very user friendly, and it has really good quality. All right, y'all. So that's Podio. Y'all have any questions about Podio at all? If y'all do, drop them in the chat. Y'all know I'm gonna answer any of the questions about Podio, about any of the content as well at the end of class. So if y'all got any questions, please drop it in the chat. I'll get back to it, y'all. But that's CRM, y'all. Can I get a hand raised if y'all understand, why you need a CRM first and foremost? And then, like I said, the CRMs that are available to y'all. Cool, perfect. Like I said, y'all, I did not get a wholesale deal because I had no follow-up game. I had no system and processes in place. Having these processes and systems in place will take y'all so far. All right, now, for calling, what we use Mojo. This is what our VAs use. Our VAs use Mojo because a lot of them came from the background of Mojo, but I know a lot of other people use Call Tools as well. Call Tools was a little bit more expensive to us than Mojo when we first started out, and so we just stuck with Mojo. But so how our Mojo looks is we have a triple line dialer, meaning the VAs are on the phone and 3 phone numbers are ringing at once. So that's all inside of our Mojo. Another thing we have is dial pad. That is, so when you guys have VAs in the Philippines or in Egypt or in wherever out of the country, they need a real phone number. They need a 313 number or a 248 number or an 817 number. How you get them that is you go on dialpad.com and you buy it. Mojo per user pricing, I'm gonna get to that, but I believe it is $89.99. I'm gonna get to it though. I'm about to actually go in there. So that's a great question. But DialPad is $25 a month, or you just buy the year for like $200. So we just bought the year, and we bought like 6 user seats at first, and we just keep adding on. But DialPad allows for your VAs to have a personal cell phone number. They have unlimited call, unlimited text. They get a voicemail, and as well as they have the opportunity to send regular SMS without it going through Mojo or any of that. So they need to have this phone number to be able to call into the Mojo or the Call Tools, which I didn't understand that when I first started out. If y'all need a little bit more help understanding that, get with me after. And then smartphone is what we use, and that is $50 a month. Smartphone is what we use for our sales reps. So this is how our sales reps get a phone number, because you don't want your sales reps calling off their personal cell phone. Trust me, it gets hectic once you start doing a ton of dials, as well as your number begins to get blocked like spam. So what you need to do is you need to buy as many phone numbers as you can using a smartphone, and just use smartphone as your as your system and service for calling out a sales rep. And then Ring.io is another one, but I'm about to show y'all some of these really quickly. So this is how Mojo looks for us, y'all. So this is our Mojo. This is our data and dialer. I'll even show y'all what we got here, right? So y'all can see we have 711,000 leads in our Mojo right now just from this year. Ton of leads, y'all, right? And every one of them has probably been called at least once. So this is how our Mojo looks. You guys can see kind of right here. It's got the attempts or whatever and all that jazz is in here. But so we have 711,000 leads, and this is what our VAs log into every day to make their dials. And I'm gonna go to real quick account, because I'm actually not familiar with how much it costs really quick. Let's see. Y'all might see all my information, but whatever. Let's see, subscriptions. So it's $10 just to have an agent on there, and then it's $89 for a single line dialer. Then it's $139 for a triple line dialer, and then it's $25 if you want every call to be recorded. So what we do is in the first 3 months, we record every call while our VAs are still on the floor. And then after that, we drop it because we've listened to their calls and all that jazz. So after that point, we'll just drop it. So it's not an extra expense that we need. But for the first 90 days, we love to hear their calls. So that's why we use it. All right. So that's Mojo. And here's Dialpad, y'all. So Dialpad, like I said, this will give y'all straight up y'all VAs a phone number that they can use. And y'all are going to love this because it's cheap and it's very, very user friendly. And they even have a mobile app. So if they're on the go, let's just say maybe on lunch or whatever it is, they can have this app on their phone. They can answer calls, and it's a downloadable desktop app as well. So it's super intuitive and very user-friendly. Dialpad is the crap, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all will love this if y'all haven't used it already. We were using Skype first and Google Voice, but they got a little bit more expensive, and they weren't very they weren't that fast. They slowed down a lot, and they had a lot of connectivity issues. So use Dialpad, y'all. Now, last was what? Smartphone. Right, let me get out of here. I don't want y'all seeing that. Smartphone. This is how smartphone looks. And what this is, this will give me straight up. This is for my sales reps. So straight up, we can just use this to call. So you can see I've got how many different phone numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 7 different phone numbers that I personally call out on a day to call sellers. Now, these phone numbers allow me to not get blocked as spam. Each phone number costs $5 a month. But y'all are going to need to use this, y'all. And this is for everything sales. You can even pull reports here. It's got your reports for your sales reps. If you need to say, hey, how many calls that you can see from April 1st to July 8th, how much talk time we had, you can track all of that, y'all. How many outbound dials? We had 6,400 outbound dials. So you can use all of these metrics, and it's all going to be for your sales team, y'all. This is straight up going to be for your sales team. Do not use this for y'all VAs. Only use it for your sales team. And they have a call recording feature on here as well, so you can listen to all the calls back after they come off. So it's a great tool. It gives a breakdown of who did how many calls, all of that, man. You guys will love this tool. If you haven't already used it for y'all sales reps, begin using it once y'all begin scaling. If it's even just you, I suggest using it. It's very, very worth it, y'all. All right. So that's it for how many of y'all had heard of those, so how many of y'all had heard of smartphone and Dialpad? I know most people have heard of Mojo and call tools. Can I get a raise of hand for Mojo and Dialpad? Dialpad and smartphone? I'm curious. I didn't find out about those until we really, really started ramping up. Okay, cool. All right, bet. Well, that's cool. I'm hoping I gave y'all some game on that Dialpad and smartphone there, y'all. All right, now for SMS, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last, two slides here, and we'll be finishing up. SMS, I'm a breeze through this because we already have gone through it, right, with y'all. Roar is what we used before for our SMS blast, where we would do 5,000 text messages a day. However, now we are transitioning, and we have 2 campaigns running right now. One with REI Reply, one with Launch Control. We used Launch Control back in 2019, and I like them, but they are a little more costly. They're double the price of Roar. So that's why but Roar is blocking a lot of the messages that we send. So we're trying a new platform now. So we're splitting between REI Reply and Launch Control, and we're going to run a test for 30 days to see who gives us the best results and the best pricing. And then we're going to run with them, and I'll let you guys know, of course, who we end up running with. But Launch Control, their basic bottom program's $500 a month, and then REI Reply has a program around like $250 to $500 as well. But what I don't like about Launch Control is that their most expensive plan is $1,500, only gets me 50,000 text messages. And with Roar, we would spend $1,000 and get 76,000 text messages. So we're spending almost 50% more and getting less than we were with Roar. But Launch Control and REI Reply have been getting us better results so far ever since those crackdowns they had on SMS. But so use these, y'all. Screenshot them. Roar, REI Reply, Batch Leads, Launch Control. Lead Sherpa, I haven't used personally, or Text Magic. I used Batch Leads for a hot second. It was just a little too much for me cost-wise. So we strayed away from them. But you guys are going to want to use this to manage all of your SMS. And then from there, have your VA scrape through it if y'all can. If you need to scrape through it yourself in the beginning, I understand. But then you need to take all the leads from this and put them in y'all Podio or put them in y'all CRM, whatever it ends up being. So that's the SMS. Like I said, I'm gonna breeze through that. Now for Dispo, what I want y'all to do for Dispo is, how many of y'all in here, raise your hands, heard of Investor Lift? I'm curious. All right. Do y'all want my opinion on Investor Lift? Can I get a yes in the comments if y'all want my opinion on Investor Lift? Yes, perfect. So we bought Investor Lift. Rigo bought Investor Lift back in, I believe, January or February or something like that. We bought Investor Lift. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with what Investor Lift is, it is strictly for dispositions. And I'm just going to Google what it is because I'm sure that they are going to have a really good, what's it called, proposition or whatever they call it. So what they are is, they look like this. What they provide wholesalers, buyers, basically. So if you have a deal under contract, any deal under contract, you're supposedly able to just slap this up on Investor Lift's marketplace, and it'll be sold because they've got the best buyers in the nation. That is their whole jargon and their whole slogan, I guess, right, guys? So if you're a wholesaler, you post your deal on here, and hedge funds use this, big time REO companies, and then big investors are supposedly using this to buy deals. And your average assignment fee, which is supposed to go up by 30 to 50% by using Investor Lift. So our average fee, I believe, was $19,000 last year. So we were hoping to be getting around 26 to 30 grand an assignment using Investor Lift. And they said the average fee on their platform is about $25,000. So we're like, it's worth a shot, right? Now the program is pretty expensive. This software is expensive. I believe the cheapest one was about $9,000, give or take, for a year. And you can't pay for it monthly. You have to buy it either quarterly or annually. So it was an expensive gamble that we were willing to take. But my take on it is this, you guys. If you're not doing $100,000 a year, a month, if you're not doing $100,000 a month, don't waste the money. Instead, use that money on more marketing, growing your sales team, your VAs, or just increasing the amount of data that you get. Right. So we probably put 15 deals on Investor Lift, and we sold 0. None of them sold on Investor Lift. However, they sold on Facebook Marketplace. They sold from our email blast, from our regular buyers list that we have, and they sold from Craigslist and in the investor groups on Facebook. So to us, we spent the $9,000, and it just was not worth it for us. It's because we didn't know until we got in that they have 2 modes, M-O-D-E-S. They have 2 modes. They have a cartel mode and a God mode. Now, to get into cartel mode, you need to show that you've done $100K a month for 3 months consistently. That's the only way to get into cartel mode. Now, when you get into cartel mode, they gift you every single buyer's email and phone number. So it makes it extremely easy to disposition the property, because you can just pull up a ROAR or a launch control and a GMAS, an email blast, and email blast out the deal and text blast out the deal to all the buyers that they just gave you once you're in cartel mode. Or you can hire a VA, have that VA call and pound through the list and say, hey, I got a deal. Are you interested in buying this deal? Blah, blah, blah. So that's how the cartel people do it. They have a whole dispositions department that has either a VA or a dispositions manager come through the leads, and then they text it and they email it. And that's what you get with cartel mode. Now with God mode, you don't get that. You just get the opportunity to post a deal and hope that somebody comes across it. And you guys can see there's 17,000 properties on here. So it's not like it's slim pickings and that your property is just going to be seen. So if you're in God mode and you don't have somebody dedicated, because you have to skip, they'll give you the data, but you have to skip trace it. So in cartel mode, you don't have to skip trace it. And the skip trace costs, I think, 6-7 cents. So you're skip tracing, let's just say 300, 400 buyers. So it's not a lot, but it adds up, right? So you're spending an extra $100, $200 on the let's say $100 on the deal. And then you got to hire somebody to go through and pound the phones, to call it and to text it and to email it. And when you're just starting out, if you're not doing 100K, guys, I'm just going to tell you, it just doesn't make sense to go for it. So we met the CEO, Robert Winsley, great guy, really, really great guy. I mean, I love what he's doing. The product just didn't work for us at the time because we didn't have the 3 months of 100K to get into cartel mode. So that's my take on it. It's great for cartel mode. Useless, in my opinion, if you're in God mode. You can use that money elsewhere in your marketing to increase you up. If you're at 2-3 deals, increase your marketing, get up to 5-6 deals a month, then go to investor lift. So I hope, my opinion, gave y'all something on that. I said very costly lesson on our end. And the other ones, I just kind of spoke about them on dispositions. You can use Gmass, which is like a G Suite, to email blast out. You can text blast, and then you can use MailChimp. And the reason you want to use these over text blast, like the Gmass and the MailChimp, is because you can see who opened up your email. You can see how many times they opened it. You can see all of that, y'all. So that's the reason you want to use MailChimp and Gmass. And InvestorLift also has an email function as well. So you guys can see I get a crap ton of InvestorLift emails. You can see right here. This is an InvestorLift. So Equity Cash Offer sent me a deal for $389,000, and it comes from their InvestorLift platform. So they can email blast through there as well. And you used to be able to text blast, but you can't text blast anymore, guys. So that was the other thing. When we signed up, they were raving about, oh, you can text blast. You can text blast from inside the InvestorLift CRM. They took it away. So like I said, my 2 cents. So that's on Dispo, y'all. Not a lot that you're going to use software-wise unless you're scaling up, because it's going to be a lot more manpower, Facebook Marketplace, those things that we went over in week 5, I believe it was. Yeah. So I hope that helped. Did y'all find some value in that? And can I get some hands raised if y'all found some value in that InvestorLift review? Because I'm going to be honest, I wish somebody would have told us to not waste that $9,000, y'all. All right. Well, that's it for all the information I wanted to give y'all. So I want to go over next week, the next 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks, what this is going to look like, y'all, is we won't have any information unless y'all request something. Y'all can get on my calendar. There won't be any formal course or education in that the last 2 weeks. What I want to do instead is I'm going to have office hours from the same time, from 7 to 8. I'm going to have office hours. So if y'all have any deals y'all want me to review, and maybe if we've been replying too slow via Telegram or text or Instagram, whatever it is, come to the office hours, ask questions. That'll be y'all time for an hour out that week to bring deals, ask questions. Maybe y'all want to go over something in specific that I didn't cover. We can go over it then, y'all. So it'll be kind of a free-for-all the last 2 weeks. So weeks 11 and 12, office hours. It'll just be open format. I'll just be sitting in there for an hour with my Google Meet open. Y'all can hop in and out, and I'll record it as well. So if anybody has answered a question or asked a question, y'all can see it back, run it back, and hopefully get some value from it. But my hope and my prayer is we've got 3 individuals right now in the course or in the classroom, in the group, that are on the brink of having that first deal closed. One individual has 2 deals right now in title that he's waiting on closing. So I'm praying and hoping that, as promised, before this 12-week course is up, that somebody out of this cohort is able to close a deal, and especially not only 1 deal, but 2 deals. So if you guys have anything, y'all, bring them to me for office hours next week, please. And I still do have that bounty open. First deal closed in the Reunited group is going to be $100 gifted by me on top of that, man, just for getting y'all first deal. So I appreciate y'all, man. So I'm gonna open the floor to any questions that y'all might have. I hope y'all found that valuable. Any questions y'all got for me at all? Anything? I'm gonna stop presenting though. Y'all got any questions on anything? If not, extremely valuable. So I think somebody had asked me questions up here before. What is price per mojo? I use that. Okay, already cool. All right. Did y'all find? Okay, John said it was valuable. Can I get some more feedback? Did y'all find this valuable, y'all? Was this pretty good? I said I know it's software, so it's not the most exciting thing, but you're gonna need this to be able to scale, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. Yeah. Any questions? How much data do you pull monthly? Great question. So we started out when we first started out pulling 5,000 leads a month. Then we scaled up. Now we do between 50 and 100,000 leads every single month. So we'll pull 50,000 leads at a minimum. And we use my boy Josh, of course, so we get a great deal. I've been working with him for so long now that I get it at 2.5 cents. So let me just do the math because I can't even remember in all honesty. We do 50,000 on our card just on file. We spend $12.50 a month on data, just on data. So we get 50,000 leads all the way up to 100,000 leads. Depends on our manpower for the month. It depends on if we've got enough VAs in. If so, we go 100K all day. And out of that, out of the 50,000, we get a 0.002 motivated seller out of that. So we pull 50,000 out of that. 100 people will say that they want to sell. Out of those 100, We try to close 5 to 7 of them. Great question. What's your insight on the market? That's a really good question as well. My insight on the market. So I actually just spoke to the first person today who told me that they are not doing debt service notes right now. So that's a little concerning. Everybody else I've spoken with, hard money wise, and they're doing 30-year rental loans on the investment side, and they're still chugging along. But Anchor Loans is who called me today, and I asked about their 30-year, and they said that they stopped it right now, and they're actually only doing 12 and 24-month rental loans with no prepayment penalty because they're waiting for the interest rates to settle. So once the interest rates settle, then they'll kickstart up that 30-year program. But that's actually a little bit concerning. The other thing that kind of concerns me is how inflation came back a little higher than we were expecting. I was expecting us to be at least at 8.1, but I was hoping below that. I was hoping that we were going to come down to like 7.9, 7.7% inflation. So that lets me know that the Fed is going to be very, very aggressive in these next 6 months or so when it comes to rate hikes and tightening the money. So I think that it's going to get a little uglier personally. I think that we'll start to see price drops at a minimum 10% price drops. I'm thinking we'll see. So homes that are right now at 300,000, I think they'll start going at 270. I think that's what we'll begin to see. But I mean, I'm already starting to see the buyers have slowed down. It's not as many buyers in the pool. A lot of the hedge funds stopped buying about 3-4 weeks ago now. So a lot of people are holding up on their money, and right now the dollar is more valuable right now, being held until all this kind of shakes out. So I think that the market's gonna take a little bit of a dip. I think that interest rates are gonna continue to hike until maybe the end of Q1 2023. But then I see them coming back down. So we might go all the way up to 7, maybe even 8% on interest rates. But I think that after that we'll come back down to 5.5% or so. That's what I'm thinking. And then how will we proceed? So how we proceed is a lot of stuff we're doing now is going to be novations and sub twos. A lot of people. So what's going to have to happen in the market is we're going to have jobs lost. Jobs need to be lost in order to get this inflation down, and then the interest rates need to hike. So they're going to begin to lay off more people, which is going to cause people to not be able to pay their mortgage. They're not going to be. If they don't have a job, they can't pay their mortgage. They can't pay their mortgage. They're going to go into foreclosure. If they're going to go into foreclosure, that means we can offer them a subject to take over the mortgage. And the beauty of it, y'all, is a lot of these people got in when the interest rates were super low, 2, 3, 4% interest rates. So you can take over these people's mortgage and cash flow like crazy, especially because of how much rents have appreciated. So sub 2 innovations are going to be our bread and butter moving forward, probably for the next year or so, I say. But I'm personally going to buy a home, but I'm waiting until next year until interest rates come down. So yeah. So great questions though. What are your favorite lists of pool? My favorite list when I used to be probate. My favorite list of pool used to be probate. But now I don't really have a favorite list. Maybe I mix it with absentee owner, tired landlord. But because I'm pulling so much data, I really don't care. Just as long as they own a home, we're gonna call them. So yeah, a good question though. But if you just starting out, get really targeted and then start stacking. I see your hand raised. D, you got something? Devon? I don't know. Dale, what's up, my boy Dale? That's a great question though. Any other questions, y'all? Those are really good questions. Really, really good questions. What's y'all take on the market? I wonder. I mean, I can have a conversation. What's y'all take on the market? Let's leave that open. You know, raise your hand if you want to start talking to me, just so that everybody don't go at once. I'm curious what y'all think's gonna happen. We got some really good experts in the industry, in the field right now. So I want to see what y'all think's gonna happen. Nobody? No? Yeah, there's no right answers. We all predicting. So nobody's gonna be right for real. Okay, go ahead and start chopping it up, Conway. You raise your hand. You wanted to speak on it? If you can't, unmute yourself, please, and then let's see what you got to say. I'm curious. No, the accident? My mic is muted. Yeah, unmute it. Press the mute button down at the bottom. I can't unmute you, unfortunately. Okay, well, anybody else, while they figure that out, anybody else want to, what's your predictions on the market? And are y'all shifting? Are y'all not buying or whatever it may be? Have a few thoughts. Okay. What's yours? D?
Hey, Dylan, it's Aunt.
Oh, Aunt, what's up? How you doing?
Good. I was just gonna give my thoughts as far as an agent, a real estate agent,
Investor.
slash investor.
Yes, please.
It is a little different, but in a regular market, this is always our slow period. When it's not a high, fast market, it always slows down around this time. So I just kind of wanted to put out there how I feel is just be patient. It's coming back. It may not come back up as high and as fast as it has been in the last few years.
Yeah.
But it's coming back, y'all. It will. Trust me. People still buy before the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
So for a real estate agent, that is still, it's not a high peak, but you start seeing it go back up after kids get in school and things settle down. So my thoughts on is don't get discouraged. It's coming back up. Just be a little patient, guys. It's just a little different.
Exactly.
Right now.
Absolutely. And the other thing with that is like don't get caught up like y'all leverage the media for your leverage the media for your wholesale deals. Like the media is always going to come out with the woe is me and the market is crashing. Oh, look at the stock market. Oh, look at this, look at that. But like, no, leverage that with your leverage that with your sellers, leverage that with even with your end buyers. Like, really, this is a really good play for wholesalers. This is a really good time to be in wholesaling and be in the middle of wholesaling because you can leverage the media. Let them be your mouthpiece for you.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good point. So when our sellers don't answer the phone, the first text message that they get now is a panic email. Let me see if I can pull it up. It says plateau. Our message says, hurry, sell fast. Prices have plateaued. If you want to get top dollar for your home, you need to sell to us today. So yes, exactly. Y'all use that media, and everybody is fearful and scared right now. Use it to your advantage. That's a great point. And then the other thing that Ant said was, I mean, we are still in a almost balanced market. We've only got the nationwide only have about 3 months of inventory, which a balanced market is about 4 months, 3 to 5 months, depending on the market, for months of inventory. So we're still not in a scary moment. It's just not as hot as it was in the pandemic. I mean, so yeah, great points.
Hey Dylan, it's Cece. I've got my mic to work.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So yeah, I know we've spoken a couple times on Telegram, but I just want to say I'm an investor, but I primarily deal with land and mobile homes. And so I can attest to that same thing. Like, yes, the buyers have slowed down, but people are still buying. Just not as the rate that we were used to for these last 2 years. And I just want to say, like, to be patient, because there's deals right now that I'm not really too hype about because the seller is still in this mindset, like, oh, I can still get $1 million for my house. When in reality, I think a lot of that has faded. So I have some things right now that I will be circling back and following up on. Probably in like 2 or 3 months when they kind of come down off this high of like, I want $1 million.
Yes, definitely. And I've said the same thing. So right now what's going on in the market, like Devon said, it's a great time to be in the wholesale market. But what we're missing right now in the wholesale market is sellers and buyers have a disconnect right now. About 6 months to a year ago, no, it's about 6 months, really 3 to 4 months ago, in all honesty, everybody was kind of still on the same playing field. Sellers and buyers knew what a house was worth or what it should be selling for, shall we say. But now buyers are saying, hey, home prices aren't worth that $1 million anymore that sellers asking for. It's worth $750,000, let's just say. So sellers are still riding that pandemic high, and they're still thinking that they're going to get top dollar or $50,000 over asking. But that has just it's not going on like that anymore. At least it's not as rapidly as it was. So I believe that after the holiday, I believe that we'll start to see sellers start to finally catch on, and I think they'll start seeing on the same field as buyers. I think sellers and buyers will finally be able to say, hey, okay, sellers know that the property values have gone down, and now they don't expect $50K over ass, no appraisals and waived inspections and all that jazz. So yeah, I think so. That's a great point. Great point. Anything else, y'all? It's a great conversation. Be patient, doesn't point follow up is everything. Sellers don't know the market has shifted to a more balanced market. Actually a buyer's market with the takes, yeah, with the rates. Yeah. So Andy said, yeah, just be patient, follow up is everything. The seller doesn't know the market has shifted to become a more balanced market. So they don't know, they're not, they don't buy or they don't sell their home every day. They don't sell homes, they don't buy homes. So they're not really aware of what's really going on. They hear about the recession and interest rates, but they don't really know how that affects them and when they sell their home. So as they said, man, leverage the media, leverage all of that to your advantage, y'all.
I do have a quick question, Dylan. It's like a side note. So when these sellers are like, "Oh, I see on Realtor my home is worth 800,000," I guess my question, what I am kind of confused about, is like, okay, well, if you wanted 600 or 700,000, how come not go through a Realtor to kind of get what it's worth? Is it because they don't want to pay concessions or closing costs? I guess my reason, like, what's the reason for that?
Two reasons why they use a service like us as wholesalers. Number one is we can get really, really creative. Whereas a realtor, most of the time, if they're not a realtor / investor, all they're going to know about is just, hey, let me list your property for top dollar, and that's it, right? But as a wholesaler, we have creative finance where we can take over mortgages, we can do novations, we can do seller financing. We can get really, really creative. So that's the benefit and the advantage, number one, of why they would want to work with us. The second thing is maybe they don't want to pay commissions to a realtor. Maybe they had a bad taste or time with a realtor before where they signed a 6-month listing agreement and nothing ever came of it. So they might have a bad taste in their mouth about realtors. The other thing is maybe they don't want to do any repairs. So maybe their house needs some repairs and they know that to sell it to an FHA buyer or a VA buyer, they're going to need to do some repairs to the property. So they might want to just go the wholesale route and just sell it for cash or sell it to a wholesaler, an investor. And then the other thing is we close quick. So that's the advantage, right? So you have to see what their motivation is. Maybe they want their cash in 14 days, 21 days, 10 days, whatever it may be, and they don't want to do any repairs. They don't want to do anything. They just want to just be able to say, hey, I want to sign a piece of paper and get paid in 10, 14 days. That's another reason why they would go with us opposed to with a realtor. Because with the realtor, you're going to have to do showings. You're going to have the house make ready. And especially if it's an owner-occupied property, it's a lot more intrusive to be having showings and you got all your belongings there and people are coming into your home. So the wholesale route or the investment route it just tailors to those people for that reason. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I got it. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, great question. That was really good. Anything else, y'all? Really good questions. I like that. It got dark on me. I had to turn the light on, man. Jeez. No, anything else, y'all? I got like a couple seconds if y'all got anything else, and then we can end this. I thought this was gonna be a quick one, y'all, but we went into 54 minutes. I appreciate the engagement. Truth, this isn't 2012. This is a normal shift, just a little late to the party. Panic people has in denial. Yes, pandemic has these people in denial. I don't know if y'all know, but during the pandemic, 2020 to 2020 into 2021, let's just call it, buyers were coming in because they were selling their house in California for $600,000. They're 2-bed, 1-bath for $600,000, and they were coming here to Texas, and they said, "Oh my goodness, I can get a 3-bed, 2-bath home for $250,000, $260,000 at the time." So they had no problem paying because they just sold their home in California for cash for $600,000. They had no problem coming in and saying, "Hey, we should drop $350,000 down on a house in Texas because we got more space in the house. We got a yard. Taxes are lower down here, all types of jazz." So they were waiving the inspections. They were closing cash in 7 to 10 days. It was just ridiculous. So it's actually best that we are correcting and coming into this time because, as Dave said, y'all, in a little bit, it is the best time right now to be a wholesaler. With this recession looming and all these talks of interest rates, people are going to be looking for an out, and they're going to be looking for a solution, and that's where we come in and we provide value. That's great. All right, if y'all got nothing else, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all, So again, next week, y'all, open office hours from 7 to 8. And that'll be week 11 and 12. And what I'm praying is, and I'm hoping, y'all, is that somebody in here out of these 163 members closes the deal in these next 14 days. So hope y'all out there grinding. Hope y'all making offers every day. And I hope y'all been finding value in these classes. So if y'all don't have anything else, man, I want to thank y'all for y'all time. God bless y'all, and y'all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Carrington.